All right, guys, it's Stephen here on BlueMoonRisingTV, and I'm joined by Alex.
Hey.
Basically, we're going to look at 5 stats from the weekend's games and looking forward. Firstly, we won 4-0 against Bournemouth,
Yes,
and a lot of it was down to this first stat, 57. Now, that's about Kevin De Bruyne, and that's the amount of minutes he played this weekend, and he was good, wasn't he?
He certainly was. A fresh prince of ginger hair. Nailed it. He's a top player, isn't he? He's got a lot about him that just got that star quality, and I think the difference is didn't score against United, didn't score against Kiev, put 4 past Bournemouth.
And there was this stat about how he had like 4 shots on goal, he created 2 chances and he scored as well, all in that little period of time. He's just an incredibly good footballer, isn't he? He's like makes us tick. I'm slightly underplaying
I don't think he's necessarily is what makes us tick, but it just takes so much pressure off players like Silva and Yaya that maybe we've relied on in the past, that we've now got another enormous weapon going forwards. And he is a weapon of mass destruction. He is dangerous.
He is. Yeah,
the UN want to shut him down, but we're not going to let him. No, he's that kind of player. You know, when he's at his best, he's deadly.
It was noticeable, wasn't it, that like Silva came alive, Aguero was dropping deep, and the interchange and the movement, even Navas looked a lot more confident than he has done in recent weeks, and it was good just to see that kind of variety and options going forward.
Yeah, well, I think it was Paul who said in a video that Kevin De Bruyne, he was going to be revitalise the team, give everyone a sort of a little bit more hope in the dressing room, just having him around, seeing a player of his ability, walking out onto the pitch with you has got to bring up morale, and that's pretty much exactly what City needed. So hopefully, moving into PSG this week, De Bruyne can carry on, pick up his form, play the full 90, and show Di Maria for the fraud that he is.
The fraud that he is indeed. And moving on to the second stat, that's basically 90. Now Sergio has scored against every team in the Premiership now. That's an incredible stat. He's also got, I think, 10 goals in 2016, which is level with Harry Kane. And he's not really even been at his very best, has he, either?
Well, yeah, I think when we talked about this stat just before the video, I was saying, well, hang on a minute, Sergio's been out of form. But he's sort of secretly been lethal, and he's terrorising every team in the Premier League. He's completed it now. He's completed the Premier League.
It's like the stickers when you collect them all, isn't it? He's got a full book of Premier League teams he's scored against, and he's not even really just bothered trying either. He's just turned up, done the business, and won us a game again.
I think he's having a good 2016, but I think he's still got more in him, and especially with De Bruyne now in behind him, Nasri coming back, so much more creativity behind him means that he's only going to get better this season.
Well, when you saw as well what Pep did with Lewandowski, how he's become this, like, he was always a very good striker, but he seems to have gone up another level, and you think there was signs when Aguero was dropping deep on Saturday when he played a couple of lovely little passes. The scoop over to Silva, which went back to De Bruyne, and there was an outside of the boot kind of crossfield pass to De Bruyne as well, which he volleyed and was just saved. There's definitely more to his game that I think we'll see come out next season.
Yeah, it was interesting at Bournemouth. I mean, he scored with his head for a start. That's something we don't really see from Aguero. But also as well, I think you're looking at the players around him. He looked more creative in himself, and maybe getting a little bit involved. I think maybe that's because we've been missing De Bruyne and Nasri, is that over the last few weeks, I think in the derby especially, Aguero was coming so deep to get the ball.
Yeah, he was.
He's almost learnt how to play in the midfield in that kind of role, and that has added so much to him now that he can go back to being the out-and-out number 9.
And that's what he is, isn't he? He's an out-and-out number 9. You don't really want him dropping deep. Though he can do it, you want him where it matters, and thankfully on Saturday he was there. But anyway, number 2, this is basically about Patrick Roberts, the English Messi, using in inverted commas. But I watched this game for Celtic, and as some of you may know, I'm a big follower of the youth setup, and Roberts, he's had a kind of slow start to life at Celtic, but this game he was absolutely brilliant. Did you see any of it yourself, or?
I've not seen it.
You were driving up to Bournemouth, weren't you?
I was driving, down to Bournemouth.
Down to Bournemouth.
But I've not seen it, but I've read the tweets, I've seen the report on BBC. We all know Paddy Roberts is a really promising talent. I don't like that English Messi thing.
It's just because he looks like him the way he runs with the ball. Like his game, obviously, he's nowhere near that level of brilliance. But then again, whoever will be.
Well, that's the thing is, imagine you were in a band and you've just released a single and you've got into the top 40 charts, and somebody went, "You're going to be the next Queen." Like you're going to be like
the next Queen
at that level of just like.
Because Messi is the Queen of football. To be honest.
I started that analogy and then panicked, for example. But I think it's like saying, "Oh, you're going to sell like 20 million records."
Yeah, of course.
It's like putting that pressure on someone. Patrick Roberts is going to be a cracking player, and who knows, maybe he could reach those heights. You never know.
I think he's in the right place as well in Scotland, because there's many parallels to City's kind of stature with Celtic in terms of they're the best team in the league, they're the team there to be shot at. Well, in theory, we're the best team in the league, and we should be, and we will be next year. trust. I just did trust on camera, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But,
you're getting at the right thing here in terms of the at Celtic, there's the expectation on the players to win every game. If they go and draw away, people start asking questions. You know, they're playing in Europe, well, they're not anymore, but they were playing in Europe. It's a club with a lot of history, big fan base, and I think just a lower standard, and that's ideal place for him to develop for English football.
He's just turned 19 as well, so he's only a baby still in terms of football. So he's got plenty of time yet. I don't think he'll come back next season. I think they've got got him tied into an 18-month loan contract. Yeah. But I think that's fine. I think a year to learn, and hopefully he'll come back under Pep the season after and be a potential star for us.
And still be only 20 years old.
Yeah, only 20 years old, exactly. Yeah. And then basically next up it's Zlatan's impressive goal haul of 38 in 41 games.
It's disgraceful, isn't it? 38 and 41. I'm offended by that goal record.
I think he's 30 as well in 26 league games and 11 assists. So
I mean, people can slag off French football and say that it's not the same standard as the Premier League, and it isn't. But that is a goal record that says he knows what he's doing.
He's all right.
And he's the one that everyone's talking about him before the PSG game, and that is for a reason. 38 and 41. That's just as a record. Name another player on the planet besides Messi and Ronaldo.
That's it.
Doing that. And for me, Zlatan on his day, it's a shame that he's not playing in the Premier League or Spain at the minute. Just because I think that if he was, people would put him on that level of that pedestal.
Definitely.
The difference is that Messi and Ronaldo have got the more assists and play a little bit wider. As a centre forward in the box, for me, Zlatan is probably the best striker in the world. I think you can make that argument.
You definitely can make that argument. He's up there with Sergio, isn't he? Let's be honest. He's up there as the very best, and he's got a bit of genius to him. And he's obviously not the only player as well. You know, there's Nasri reckons that the Di Maria injury's a bluff, and he reckons he'll be playing on Wednesday. I wouldn't be surprised either.
Well, that's the danger as well, isn't it? Is that PSG aren't a one-man team. Of course they're not. There's players in that team. You know, Verratti, David Luiz, Di Maria, that are all big names that can all do you some damage. So we can't get distracted by Zlatan, but a little bit, because Zlatan is really good. And we've had our defensive frailties this season. We're looking, I know you're going to talk about that in a second, we are looking a little bit stronger, but hopefully Otamendi Mangala looked tight against Bournemouth.
Yeah, they did.
And I'm hoping that we can I know PSG are going to give you much more going over than Bournemouth did, but I'm hoping we can use that, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of reassurance in each other, and go and keep a clean sheet away from home at PSG.
On the subject of clean sheets, actually, there was a stat at the weekend that's 14, and that's basically the second amount of clean sheets in the Premier League. I think it was United top and we're joint with Arsenal. So that's not bad. I mean, our defence hasn't been, I think it's been generous to say it hasn't been that good this year. It's been kind of sketchy.
I think between October and February we had a very sketchy back four. And I think it's not helped with Vinny coming in and out of the team and Demichelis being a little bit past it.
Just a little bit.
To say. And I think
he is 468 years old, to be fair to him.
Yeah, 468 years old and a half.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, mine.
But I think we've had our problems back four. But it's good that we are starting to get together. You know, and Kiev and Norwich, we were poor going forwards.
Yeah.
But back, we were sound. You know, and those are tough games, and they're teams that can do you some damage.
Zabaleta looked good as well, didn't he, against Bournemouth? He looked like something back to his old self. He looked reliable, strong. He was bursting forward in the way we're used to him seeing, and it shows what confidence can do to a team, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, 14 clean sheets. It sounds a bit surprising, especially when you think we're second in the league.
Yeah.
But again, you know, we have been getting it right at the back, and I think that's not where this in 2016 where we've struggled. So it's a good sign, promising, and hopefully let's make it 16 or 17, maybe 18 before the season's out.
So which of those stats do you think is the most impressive? Do you think we can stop Zlatan on Wednesday, get another clean sheet maybe? Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you soon.